This is fishmasta 0, and we're going to be tying the frog. We're going to start with UTC 140 black. Let's give it a little magnification there, a little adjustment. I already had a little thread on there, messed the video up. Oh, we'll start, get a little thread going. Where'd my little scissors go? There they are. Oh well, this will work. Get a good thread base to about right about there. So we're going to put in a weed guard. And for our weed guard, we're going to use some doubled over 10-pound test mono. We're going to double that over. I usually like to use 25 or 30 or anything kind of thick. Usually the thicker the better, but this is what I got for right now. And somebody want to see the video tutorial on the frog, so we're gonna do that. Take that, fold that mono back over onto itself, and wrap it down. And we're gonna pull it down to about right there is where you want it. And pull back up. Then we're going to use a little dubbing. I'm going to use a little hare's ear. You can use anything. This is just to form a little ball to keep the legs apart. Okay. Got that up there. And we're going to start our ball back here at the end of where we started our weed guard. Ooh, we're losing it. Let's get a nice little ball going. Pull some of this shit out of there. Now, what I got is rubber legs, round rubber legs. And what I've done is I've put a little knot in one end, a little knot in the other, and looks like little toes. What we're going to do is we're going to take that, find about the halfway point, and tie those in. Try to keep one side on one side of the hook and one side on the other. What we're going to do is we'll pull that up a little bit, couple tight wraps, just kind of stretch it, get a couple tight wraps, and then pull it over to the other side and put some wraps down and get that side secured so those sets of legs is on the other side. And then we'll get that weed guard out of the way. Pull them back. Give them some tight wraps all the way back to that ball. Let's get everything secured. Bingo. Legs. Those are the best froggy legs I've found yet. And thought it up all on my own. Like, kind of got the idea from the old bass frogs that I used to fish with. Snag-proof frogs. Take a piece of 2mm foam, cut it to around gape of your hook. This is a 3366 mustad, pretty big gape. I like these hooks for streamers and bass flies, pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it, cut a little V in the end for our tie-in point, and we're going to invert that. I had to Move my vise a little bit. Invert that. Bingo. Take this. This is going to be our belly. We're going to tie this in. We're going to want it about right there. This is where we're going to want it. So just pinch it. Try to wiggle it back in there as far as you can to get to the base where those legs were tied in. Not too tight, but tight enough. That stabs in there. It's alright. It's going to get chewed up anyway, but it's foam, it's durable. And you just take that, wrap that down. So you got that up, and there's your belly portion of the fly. That'll get folded under later. Now we are going to tie in the top portion of our fly, and we are going to use two different kinds of foams. We're going to use a brown and the tan, the 2mm foam. They're both cut. Yeah, close. Don't have to be perfect, but close to that. We're going to take those, and you're going to want to take them and fold this part over so it kind of sandwiches it like that. Yeah, I need a little bit more. And then cut it. Adjust that in. We're going to tie our brown piece on. We're going to cut that again. V at our tie-in point. Give it a good place to catch, anchor on. Fold that back out of the way, it'll twist back. Put that on there about the same place as that. Start to wrap that back as well. And I've really been playing with the foam lately. Found a little pond loaded with bass. And it's real fun. And this frog's just an awesome way to catch them. They really explode on it. You don't need to worry about tying it down too much. Just get it on there. Yeah, it's a little crooked right now, but you can twist this around when you get everything tied in how you want to. And the second piece is our tan. We're going to do the same thing. V-notch it. Get a good tie-in spot. You're going to put that right on top of the brown. Tie this one in. I mean, it's a thick body of foam. This thing floats and floats and floats. It would really take a pretty toothy critter to take this thing out. Everything's on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the bottom up and kind of twist that a little bit to get everything in place to where it needs to be. Bring our thread up. Kind of pull that foam a little bit. Pinch it and give it a wrap in there. Snug it down a little bit. Couple wraps. Bingo. There's our belly. Get that out of the way so we don't cut it on accident. And slide the scissors in there, cut that. And give it a couple wraps to get everything Ugh, didn't want to catch. There we go. Caught it that time. I don't gotta worry about building too much thread up here. It's a lot of foam. Okay, belly. Now, this part. You've got, here, we'll zoom it out. I'm going to take this part, get these tight together, fold that over like a sandwich. That's what we're going to do. So we fold this, measure that out. You want to cut it about the eye. We'll pull back in here. That goes over. At the eye of the hook, straight across. And you take the brown, you fold it over, find where that came down, and snip it. And you could give it a little trim if you want. Save you a trim later. Just kind of trim it like that. Works. Take it, fold it all up. Give it a squeeze. Throw a wrap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tight wraps. It doesn't really matter, you don't have to put 5. That'll tighten it down. And that's a really crude slide. It doesn't need to be beautiful. It's gonna get all fucked up anyway. Ooh. Then take that out of the vise, and we're gonna get our weed guard. Got a leg caught in there. Pop that back in the vise. And take our weed guard. And feed it up through the eye of the hook. Like that. And you just kind of adjust it to your liking. Let's see, I kind of like it right there. So pull a little bit out more out there. Not too much, but just enough so it covers it nice and good. And then we'll pull the front up and lay some wraps. And when you pull that through, that weed guard is still through the eye, lay some wraps down behind that, doubled it back. You can reach in there, snip that out. Bring your thread back to behind the head. Get you a couple more, another piece of rubber leg. Pull that up in there. A couple wraps down. Pull this one over. Get a couple wraps down. Cut that. Skip the thread back over. And whip finish. that's it. Pretty simple, pretty deadly. All you need is foam and rubber legs and a hook. Peace.